Hey everybody, welcome to the GMAC Show. I'm your host, GMAC, and we are going to continue our NBA preview, guys, and we're going to talk about the Western Conference now. That's right, the Wild Wild West. We're going to do the Wild Wild West. Yes, guys, we all know the West is very wild, man. It's like every year we saw it last year. It was very chaotic last with a lot of injuries, of course, a lot of ups and downs last season. The Western Conference should be very interesting again this year, guys, and we're going to get right into it. And the division we're going to talk about, guys, is the Southwest Division. The first team we're going to talk about is the Houston Rockets. A very interesting, awesome guys. A lot of changes to this roster. Let's get into it. We know about the young ball player Kevin Porter Jr., of course. We know the incident happened this offseason, of course. We know the team is looking to move away from him. It's really a shame, too. He's a good young player with a lot of talent. But I can understand why the Rockets want to move away from him, go in a new direction. I could see it. I don't blame them. They got rid of their head coach, Steve Stoll, who's not doing a good enough job. They got rid of KJ Martin, of course, and also his part with him as well. They did go out and add some pieces to the team. They went out and added Jeff Green, a veteran leader off the bench. We know he played in the Denver Nuggets last year, helping them win their first ever championship in their franchise history. Of course, he should be nice to his team. Fred VanVleet, the veteran point guard for the Raptors, who helped them win an NBA championship, of course, and their first on their franchise history. And they went out and got a lot of players who helped the team win their first time in franchise history. Go figure. I guess he was just hoping they'll do the same thing for them, help them win their first time since Akeem Olajuwon. Like, Akeem, we miss you, Akeem. They went out and added Dylan Brooks, too, as well, for the Memphis Grizzlies. We know Memphis was not happy with him anymore with all his antics and stuff like that, of course. But he did help Team Canada during the World Championships win a silver medal and beat Team USA doing it. And dropped almost a 40-piece performance on him. I still can't believe that Dylan Brooks punked Team USA like that. I can't believe it. I'm sorry. I can't just help but laughing about it. We know they gave him a big contract this offseason, of course, so we're hoping it's going to pay off. We know Dylan Brooks is a guy who starts a lot of eggs. He's a good defender. His shooting is kind of hit and miss. It comes and goes, but hopefully it'll be a nice presence. We know they went out and got Emu Udoka as a new head coach to replace Steve Salas. We know what Emu Udoka did in Boston. Of course, we know what happened in Boston. We're not going to do much of that course as well. I think he's a really good head coach. Hopefully he can, take some of this talent they have. Because this team has a lot of talent. I do like the young prospect of Amon Thompson, of course. I think this kid looks like a stud. I like what I see from this kid. This kid looks like the real deal. He could be the future star of this team, of course. And I really see it, too. I like the young player Cam Whitmore, too, as well. I saw some great things for him in the Summer League as well, too. Jabari Smith looked great in the Summer League, of course. I like their young center as well, too, who played really well last year, of course, as well, too. Don't have to say his name. I don't know how to say his name, of course. Sorry. No offense to Houston fans, but don't shoot me. I like him. Of course, we know about Jalen Green, of course. This team has a lot of talent, but it's going to be really interesting how Emu Udoka can take all the young talent and some of the veteran leaders like Jeff Green and mix this all together. Because I think this team, without a question, has the talent. The talent is in with Jalen Green, Fred VanVleet, and Jabari Smith. Their young center. The young pieces of Cam Whitmore and Amon Thompson, of course. I really like the makeup of this team. And if Emu Udoka can find a way to put all these pieces together and make it work, this team could be very much a dark horse in the Western Conference and a sleeper team. So, to me, I can see this team, if things go right for them, I can see this team being a playoff team. The talent is definitely there. But it's about Emu Udoka buying fun with it, put it all together and make it work. But me, I think this team can very much be a playoff team in the Western Conference this year, of course. And I think the talent is there in order to do it. All right, guys. Next team we're going to talk about, guys, is the San Antonio Spurs. We know the San Antonio Spurs are kind of in this rebuilding mode led by Greg Popovich. We know they got the young Pop, Victor Wembanyama. Hoping he's that game-changing, altering franchise player. The talent is certainly there, of course. We see his defensive capability, he's doing with the ball, block shots. We know he can hit jump shots as well, too. I do have a little bit of concern about him, of course. He does have kind of a thin frame. He does need to bulk up a little bit, of course. We saw some young men like his size back in the past, of course, had this mid frame. Didn't last, guys like Sean Bradley, George Miroslav, of course. But I do think Victor Wembanyama is probably a lot more talented than those guys are. Of course, we did see with Yao Ming, of course, who's another big guy, too, as well. We had injury problems as well, too, as well. But let's hope Victor Wembanyama is that game-changing franchise player for him. They're hoping that he could be that next David Robinson, Tim Duncan, franchise-altering player. And the talent's there. He very well could be. The rest of this roster, of course, it's got a lot of young people, of course, the team. Kellen Johnson, I like him. He's a good young ball player. Zach Collins, I'm not crazy about him being in center, of course. They got Jeremy S., the Dennis Rodman wannabe, of course. Yeah, I know. Dude, you're not Dennis Rodman. There's only one Dennis Rodman and one woman. It's not you, bro. Seriously. Sorry. Yeah, I think the San Antonio Spurs are a good young team, but I just don't see this team being a playoff right now. I think they have too many young people who are still developing right now. Victor still needs more time, of course, and to bulk up a little more. I think Greg is still a great coach. We know he's capable of, but I think this is a team that continues to try to build their young talent, and hopefully they can be competitive this year and make some noise a little bit as well. But I just don't see it to be a playoff team in a very ultra competitive Western Conference with too much talent right now, and they just don't have enough talent, in my opinion. It's fully developed yet to be able to make that jump in the West this year. But that's just my personal opinion. Next team we're going to talk about, guys, of course, is the Dallas Mavericks. Very interesting, of course. We know they went out and re-signed Kyrie Irving. Obviously, that was a big move for them. We know they brought in Grant Williams from the Boston Celtics. He's a nice piece of the team. He should give them some good defense. I like him as well. He's a pretty decent shooter, not a great shooter, but not a bad shooter. Of course, they went out and got Steph Curry as well too. They went out and brought Dante Izumnik. They brought him back into the NBA, of course, because they have this young prospect in Prosper. Hopefully, he can prosper for them, of course. Dallas. We know what the Dallas Mavericks last year. They didn't make the playoffs last year. They missed the playoff tournament. This was a very disappointing season for them last year, of course. There wasn't a lot of accountability on this team last year. I know people look at Luka. Luka's a great basketball player himself, and I know ESPN ranked him I think like the top three issue amongst players. But personally, I do not think Luka Doncic deserves to be a top three player amongst voters, in my opinion, right now. Because how can you be top three when you couldn't even get your team in the playoffs from last year? No good. Is Luka talented? There is no debate his talent whatsoever at all. But your talent has to translate in order to be able to be successful in this league, to be valid as a top three player in this league. And Luka has missed the playoffs, or go one and done for his first 5 years in the league. That's 80% of his career. That's not good enough to rate him as a top three ball player, no matter how talented a ball player he is. And he's very talented. If we're basing on talent alone, okay, fine. But we're basing on his talent as well to be able to evolve it into winning basketball and make deep playoff runs. That's all. Now, we know he got into the conference finals one time, but guess what? Damon Leonard did the same thing. He got conference one time in his career, too. See what I'm getting at here? But that's just my personal guys. Can the Dallas Mavericks improve defensively? We know they were not very good defensively on this ball last year. Can they improve in that area? We know they still have Tim Hardaway Jr. of course on this team as well. I think Dallas is a good team. I think they can be a playoff team, but it's all about accountability this year, about playing better, playing more consistent basketball. Hopefully the new pieces help them out do that. We need to see more consistent defensively, of course, if they're going to make that stride. To Luka, we need to start seeing Luka. You got the talent, but then your talent have to start in winning basketball, of course. Because I tell you, if this team does not make the playoffs this year, there's going to be a lot of criticism on this basketball team, and it's going to be warranted, absolutely without question. Probably with all the changes they made the offseason, of course, but that's going to be up to this team to really make a stride and say, hey, you know what? As well, can Kyrie Irving, with Kyrie Irving, we never know. Kyrie Irving's always a wild card. We know Kyrie Irving's talent, what he can do when he plays well, but can he keep his head on straight long enough for this team to play winning basketball and get back to be a top team? I think this team very well could be a top team in the West Conference. I think they could be somewhere between, in my opinion, could they be a top 5 seed? Possibly. I think their ceiling, in my opinion, personally, Dallas is 5th seed. I just don't see them, overtaking a team like the Phoenix, of course, who I think got better than the Lakers, of course. You still have the Golden State Warriors, of course. You still have, Denver as well, too. You have Sacramento had a really good year last year, of course, well, too. Hoping to keep building what they've done last year as well, too. Some other teams like Minnesota, New Orleans, a young Riley Houston team, of course. But yeah, I think there still is, for me personally, is a 5th seed. I think I said, but hey, who knows? They could raise higher. It was a freaky season last year, of course. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. But I think there still is the 5th seed. In my opinion, their low still is probably the playing tournament, in my opinion. But I can see this team being the 5th seed at best case scenario, and that's just my personal opinion. Next team we're going to talk about, guys, is the New Orleans Pelicans. Not much really happened for them, obviously, of course. They know they lost Jackson Hayes in the offseason. We know he went to the Lakers as well, too. The big question mark for the New Orleans Pelicans is Zion Williams. We know what Zion Williams brings to the table. He's a very gifted, very talented ball player. We know when he plays, he's a monster who can go out and give you 25 plus 1 game on a night-to-night basis. But the key thing is, can he stay healthy? That has been the biggest bugaboo in the question with him his entire career, is an inability to stay on the court. Can he? If he can, this team could very well be a playoff team and stuff like that. Again, we know they missed the playoff last year, of course. They made the play-in, fell short last year. You know, they know they have C.J. McCollum, who's still a really ball player. It's getting a little bit of age, of course. Brandon Ingram is a very talented ball player. You know, we know he's had some injury problems too, as well too. You know, Jordan Valanciunas is really good ball players too, as well. You know, Herb Jones and Troy Murphy. You know, the talent is still for this team. This team can still very much be a playoff team. You know, and with Larry Nance Jr. of course as well too. Yeah, but the thing with this team has always been health. You know, and Zion Williams, I need to see some evolution with Zion Williams' game. You know, it's not just about Zion Williams staying healthy and like that stuff. It's also about him being able to improve his game. You know, become a better 3-point shooter. No one's asking him to be, you know, Steph Curry, you know, or Reggie or Ray Allen shooting the sleeper ball. But we need to see some evolution with his 3-point shot. And also, too, is he needs to become a better free throw shooter. We're not asking him to be an astronomically. We're not asking him to be like Mark Price shooting 90+% of the free throw line. Okay, we're just asking him to be at least a good free throw shooter, where he's not hindering on that side of the ball at the free throw line. You know, like I said, knowing the talents there, this team could be a playoff team. They could be a playing tournament. I don't think, like I said, they can miss the playoffs entirely. You know, it's all going to come down to can Zion Williams stay healthy. You know, can McCollum and Brandon Ingram stay healthy too as well. Joan Valanciunas keep the role players, keep that with Jose Alvarado and Larry Nance Jr. as well too. I like this team. They are a very good team. I think they're ceiling, in my opinion, honestly, the 6th seed. I think that's their ceiling. I can't see them being a top 4 seed. Top 5, if things really went really well, maybe, perhaps, but I don't see it. I think at best, a 6th seed, you know, that's where I see them at best. And then maybe slightly avoiding the play-in tournament. But I think things have to go in, and I think Zion has to stay healthy in order for that to happen. But if it doesn't, then I think this team's back in the play-in tournament game, of course, or not a playoffs at all. That's just my personal opinion. But the talent's there, of course, but we'll have to wait and see. And the last team I'm going to talk about, guys, is the Memphis Grizzlies. It was a very interesting offseason for the coach, guys. Let's get to it, of course. We know about the whole thing with John Morant. He's suspended for the first 25 games of the year. That is a big blow to this team. He is their best player. You know, we know what he brings to the table, of course. His athlete, his explosive, his ability to attack the rim. You know, put pressure on defenses. You know, but, you know, he's out. When he comes back, what is his team going to be like when he comes back? That's going to be interesting. Is he going to have his head on straight when he does come back? How long the absence is going to affect his playing style, of course, when he gets back as well, too. You know, is he going to need time to adjust when he gets back, of course? I think he will a little bit because missing 25 games is a lot of games to be missing. But like he's a very talented ball player. He's not injured, so, you know, he can get right back and get right the full way as well. They did go out and also add Marcus Smart. I do love the addition of Marcus Smart, man. I think he brings a veteran presence to the table. He's a former Decent Player of the Year. He brings a championship pedigree with coming from the Boston Celtics, of course, as well too. They went out and added Derrick Rose as well too. You know, I always love Derrick Rose. I know Derrick Rose gets a lot of crap, but I still love him. He's a former Bull, so he's always going to be a Bull at heart. We miss you, Derrick Rose. And we're sorry. We're so sorry. They lost Dylan Brooks in the offseason. The Memphis Grizzlies say, thank God Dylan Brooks is gone. They got rid of Tyus Jones. Who I really liked Tyus Jones. I think he was a good young ball player. I think he's a lot kind of lost, but I understand bringing Marcus Smart, of course. But I think he does. I think losing him does hurt a little bit. I liked him a lot. He was a good young player as well too. Steven Adams. You know, Steven Adams had a hard time staying healthy last year. They didn't have him in the playoffs last year, of course. They really missed his presence down below in that playoffs against the Lakers last year. We know about Joshua Jackson, of course, today. You know, he's a really good ball player. Can he keep evolving? Can he keep improving his offense? We know he brings with the defensive table. We need to see him evolve more offensively, which I think he can. He's still very young. Desmond Baines is a very talented ball player, of course. How much the loss of Dylan Brooks is going to affect this team not being home, of course. We know John Kay is replacing him at small forward. Can he be that presence replacing him? I don't know. That's going to be interesting for me. This team is very interesting, of course. What do I think of the outcome of this team is going to be this year? It's tough. It's going to be very interesting to see how much the impact of John Morant is going to affect this team early on. Now, if they can weather this storm early on without John Morant and stay above water when he comes back, then this team can very well be a top 5 seed again in the West. You know, but if they struggle out the gate and, you know, Marcus Smart isn't what they hoped him to be, you know, and they miss the presence of Tyus Jones and they're not able to compensate for Dylan Brooks' loss and Steven Adams can't stay healthy at the beginning, then, yeah, this could get very, 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 very bad for the beginning. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this plays out for them. This will be a very intriguing team to watch all year, in my personal opinion, as well. If things bounce right, I think they're a top 5 seed, of course, in the West. You know, especially when they're healthy. If things don't bounce away, I can see this team very well drop into the play-in tournament. I could very well see that, of course. especially if they're not able to overcome Jaw's absence right away at the beginning. Because, like I said, when you lose a player of that caliber for that many games, it's going to affect your team a little bit, as well. And like I said, the loss of Dylan Brooks too as well. I think that could be a big impact as well early on too as well for this team. But like I said, we're gonna have to see what Memphis really, of course, and let's hope they can claw their way like a big bear. I know the bear sound not very good. My bad. I try my best. All right, guys, that is the Southwest Division guy. Of course, let me know down in the comments what you guys think. Who do you think is going to be? Do you think the Rockets this year? Do you think they're going to be good? Not going to be good this year, of course. Do you think the Mavericks are going to bounce back? How do you think the Memphis Grizzlies are going to survive without John Morant early on? Can the Pelicans and Zion Williams stay healthy and get back to being a playoff team again? What do you expect from Victor Wembanyama? Do you think it's going to be a Fred All player? Do you not think it's Fred All player? Let me know down in the comments, guys. Like and subscribe to the channel, guys. You can find me on Facebook, Gerald McIntosh. You can find me on YouTube and TikTok, the GMAC Show, guys. We're going to keep bringing you more NBA content, guys, and we're going to continue through the Western Conference, guys, as well, in the other divisions. And we're just going to keep doing the crossovers, the rain teardrop jumpers, the fadeaway jumpers, guys, and we're going to keep going. All right, guys, take care. Peace.